Ladies and gentlemen, those here present and those joining us virtually and that's online, I welcome you to this 28th edition in the series of the National Open University of Nigeria, our inaugural lecture, which today will be deconstructed by an astute and resound educationist with the title Educational Administration and Technology, a Marriage of Inconvenience. Whatever that construct stands for, in a very short moment from now, we shall be finding out. I would like to invite the chairman of the occasion, the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Olufemi Peters, for his welcome remarks. Sir.
I greet everyone who are seated this morning. In particular, I want to welcome the families of the inaugural lecturer to this august occasion. I welcome the principal officers of the National Open University of Nigeria here seated, and all of us are here seated, which is fantastic. And I want to welcome the deans of faculties, the heads of departments, of the university. Most especially, I want to welcome our colleague and friend, former Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Vincent Aburutinebe. You are welcome back to your university. And we also want to welcome a friend of the university, the Professor Emeritus, who has been very supportive of all activities that we've had to host in our university. And that is Professor Godwin Sozolu, the Professor Emeritus. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure once again to welcome you all to this presentation. The inaugural lecture that we have is a custom of the university all over the world to request, to ask, to demand from one of us who had labored as part of his fulfillment for being an academic staff and has risen to the post of a professor to render to the university community and to the society at large what he or she has done over the last years that he or she has been professing. This normally is a culmination of one's career. They have often been advised that presenting an inaugural lecture is not the end of the professorial or academic life. Today, we have one of us who has really gone through all the departments that we can say within the academics. He has had a very wonderful experience rising from an NCE up to BEd, to Masters, PhD, and Professor. And joining the National Open University of Nigeria, he has also mentored so many people, both as a study center director and as an academic. I am extremely happy that today we are gathered here to listen to that person, Professor Samuel Ogundiran, professor in the Faculty of Education, who has told us that today he will be talking to us about educational administration and technology, a marriage. And if you didn't look at it properly, if you didn't look at the title properly, you will miss the title. He says, Educational Administration and Technology, a marriage of inconvenience, not a marriage of convenience. And we all know what marriage is. A marriage is meant to be two entities in a convenience relationship. So what it portends for us is that we are going to listen to how Professor Ogundiran is going to tell us that administration and technology are birds either of the same feather or indeed of unlikely feather. So permit me therefore to welcome the inaugural lecturer, Professor Samuel Ogundiran, to please get up and invite Dr. Matthew Oguche, our inaugural citation, to please present Professor Samuel Ogundiran to all of us to appreciate what he has gone through. And I must thank the Faculty of Education. I made a joke before I came here that all of them are here. And I want to welcome you all from the various states. The Faculty of Education holds the largest number of study center directors that we have at the National Open University of Nigeria. And I can see that they are here to honor one of their own, Dr. Matthew Oguche.
Citation for Professor Samuel Ogundiran, Vice Chancellor Sir, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The National Open University of Nigeria marks yet another milestone today as I present with immense pride the citation of our 28th inaugural lecturer, Professor Samuel Ogundiran. Professor Ogundiran is a highly respected scholar and distinguished academic, well known for his outstanding contributions to the discipline of educational administration and planning. A certified management consultant, CIMC, and fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants Nigeria, RFIMC. He has over 25 years of academic experience in the academia and public service. Professor Ogundiran encapsulates excellence in teaching, research, and community service. These outstanding accomplishments are a testament to his intellectual pedigree. Born on August 22, 1966 at Tapa, Oyo, Ibarapa North, to Pa James Adisa Ogundiran of Alagbede Compound, Tapa, and Madam Alice Olufunke Aduke Ogundiran ni Fadeyi of Oniwafin Compound, Tapa, both of blessed memory, in Ibarapa North Local Government, Oyo State. He is the second of the surviving children of his parents. He had his primary education at Methodist Primary School, Tapa, in Ibarapa, North Local Government, Oyo State, from 1976 to 1981, and his secondary education at Tapa Community High School, 1981 to 1986. He proceeded to obtain his Nigerian Certificate in Education, NCE, at Federal College of Education, Osele, Abeokuta, in Ogun State, from 1988 to 1991, where he studied English language and integrated science, after which he gained admission into the University of Lagos in 1992, where he studied educational administration with English language as option. He followed his educational sojourn when he enrolled for his MA Educational Administration in the same university in 1997. After his successful completion of the program, he was admitted for his doctorate degree in the 1999/2000 academic session. Professor Ogundiran's expertise encompasses a diverse range of subjects, including educational administration, use of technology in education, and educational planning. Professor Ogundiran's career is distinguished by a strong commitment to academic excellence and leadership. He has served as researcher, professional educator, visiting scholar, and external examiner at numerous reputable institutions. He started his work career as a graduate assistant in the University of Lagos in 1999. He also lectured at the Ondo State University School of Part-Time Studies, Agege Campus, Lagos, 2000 to 2005. St. Augustine's College of Education, St. Augustine's College of Education, Institute of Education, in affiliation with the University of Ibadan, Akoka Yaba, Lagos, 2000 to 2006, and the University of Lagos Faculty of Education, Department of Educational Administration, 2000 to 2008. He later transferred his service to the National Open University of Nigeria, Faculty of Education in 2009. He had a stint as coordinator of National Teachers Institute NTI market exercises 2013 to 2016 in the Southwest. He became the Study Center Director of National Open University of Nigeria, Akure, Ondo State, 2017 to 2022. As a prolific researcher, Professor Ogundiran has received numerous grants. In addition to his research accomplishments, he taught both undergraduate and postgraduate courses, and is still teaching master's and PhD courses at the National Open University of Nigeria. He equally taught undergraduate and master's students in his field of specialization as a graduate assistant at the University of Lagos during his PhD program. He has supervised 100 undergraduate student projects and well over 200 ML Educational Administration and Planning students projects. He is currently supervising 8 PhD and ML, out of which 5 are ready to present their post-field reports. This has significantly contributed to his role in academic mentorship and knowledge dissemination. He has published 12 textbooks and over 51 research articles and book chapters in national and international journals and conference proceedings. Notably, his prominent textbooks and published works are School Evaluation and Organizational Effectiveness 2012, Application of Management Techniques in Educational Administration 2012, Towards Organizational Effectiveness by Awebi and Ogundiran SO 2013. Others are Education Finance, published by National Open University of Nigeria by Abari A.O. Awebi, Inegbedion J. and Ogundiran SO 2015. Fundamentals of Education Management and Distance Education, also published by National Open University of Nigeria, and Basic Principles of Educational Administration 2016. These books are reference texts in the study of educational administration. He has attended several local and international conferences where he presented quality papers. Professor Ogundiran's dedication to community service is evident through his involvement in various professional bodies, including membership of the African Council for Distance Education, ACDE, Nigeria Association of Educational Administrators and Planning, NAEAP, National Association of Professional Educators, NAPE, Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, English Language Teachers Association, Lagos State Branch, where he served as General Secretary, Higher Education Research and Policy Network, HEPNET, World Education Research Association, Nigeria Education Research Association, Certified Management Consultant of the Institute of Management Consultants, Nigeria, Fellow Institute of Management Consultants, Nigeria, and Open Distance and E-Learning Association of Nigeria. He served as the Chairman, Department of Educational Foundations Journal and Publications Committee, 2015 to 2017. 2014 and as Chairman, Journal and Publications Committee, Central University Sierra Leone Freetown 2023. Another supporter of the church, Professor Ogundiran served as Choir Master, Joint Christian Association of Nigeria Choir, Papa Methodist Church Nigeria, Choir Master, Methodist Church Nigeria, Agege Saki, Opelu, Secretary. And Church Secretary, Methodist Church Nigeria, Opelu, Local Church, Agege Saki, Lagos 2008 to date. Chairman, Parents Teachers Association, Beijing Group of Schools, Abule-Egba, Lagos 2001 to 2006. He was a member of Ultra Club District 9110, Unila, 1992-1996. Patron, Police Community Relations Committee, Lemode Police Station, Agbado, Lagos State. President Men's Fellowship, Alakoko Circuit, Diocese of Lagos North, Methodist Church, Nigeria, 2016 to date. Chairman, Governing Council of the Ibarapa Polytechnic, Erua, Oyo State, 2018 to 2019, and Chairman, Governing Council of Adeshin, Ogundiran Polytechnic, Erua, Oyo State, 2020 to 2022. Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Ogundiran has served faithfully with passion and dedication in several capacities in the Faculty of Education. His illustrious career reflects a profound commitment to scholarship and public service. His undiluted dedication to education, research, and community engagement distinguishes him as a respected scholar and community leader. Today, we are gathered to celebrate his remarkable contributions to academia and society. According to the words of the inaugural lecturer, he is fruitfully married to Mrs. Ogundiran Victoria Olufumilola, whom he described as a rare gem and the best choice among other women in the world.
I like that.
Vice Chancellor, Sir, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pleasure that I now invite you to warmly welcome our inaugural lecturer for the 28th inaugural lecture of the National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Samuel Ogunwale Ogundiran, as he delivers his inaugural lecture titled Educational Administration and Technology, a Marriage of Inconvenience. I now invite the Vice Chancellor to please invite the inaugural lecturer to the podium. The Vice Chancellor, sir.
Yeah, if you noticed, we are making some very dramatic changes to how we conduct this ceremony. And we're in a new environment, so apologies that we are not running the spring. We are doing some maintenance, because I'm sure the inaugural lecturer and the family will have loved to see our new conference center. Then we'll invite them when next we shall have the next inaugural in this same hall. It's my privilege, therefore, to invite the inaugural lecturer to come and deliver his address, Professor Samuel Ogundiran, whose topic is Educational Administration and Technology, a Marriage of Inconvenience. You are welcome.
I give all adoration, all honor, and glory to the Almighty God, the maker of my life, the one that has made me what I am today, the sustenance of my life and home, the I am that I am, and the lily of the valley. Glory be to his name in the highest, for how far he has led me, in Jesus' name. Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Olufemi Peters, who is equally the chairman of this inaugural lecture, the father of this university, and our amiable and indefatigable mentor. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic, Professor Afiana, the Chairman of the Inaugural Lecture Committee of the National Operators of Nigeria, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration, Professor Bosworth, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Innovations and Technology, Professor Ape, the Registrar and Secretary to the Council, Mr. Ajayola Nipo, the Bursar, Deans, Professors, all members of the Senate of this university, directors and heads of departments, all staff and students of this great university, National Operators of Nigeria, distinguished senator, and honorable members of the House of Representatives, political leaders, distinguished traditional rulers, high chiefs, Tapa community indigenous, other community leaders, spiritual fathers and mothers, my erudite teachers and mentors, esteemed guests, my noble colleagues, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all most sincerely to the 28th inaugural lecture of this great university, and I feel highly honored to stand before you today as another inaugural lecturer to present this beautiful topic. In this great university, National Open University of Nigeria. The title of my inaugural lecture has always been displayed on the platforms, and it's even served to everyone seated here, and it's also been projected on the screens. And it is titled Educational Administration and Technology, a Marriage of Inconvenience, as my Vice Chancellor has already said. Permit me to say that when I was in the primary and secondary school in those days, I grew up under the care of my grandmother, who also stayed with her mother. So I was brought up by my grandmother and my great-grandmother, who were opportuned to have other grandchildren and great-grandchildren trained together with me. So we lived in a cluster house, and when we sleep in the evening, we will spread our mats in that big passage. Everybody sleeps on top of one another. When I finished my secondary school and I got to the Federal College of Education at Dr. Oshier, the same lifestyle I enjoyed under the tutelage of my grandmother and great-grandmother was what I experienced also at the Federal College of Education at Abeokuta. I lived in that publicly called animal kingdom, where we have all varieties of human beings packed together in that hall. It's called Block A. So, and in the room, we were about 8 bona fide roommates, and we still had squatters. So, I enjoyed living with people, interacting with people, and I find it difficult to live a lonely life. I got to University of Lagos. I still enjoy the same privilege of living in one of the most populous hostels in University of Lagos, and that is called Academy Hall. That Academy Hall, we were about 16, that is 8 bunks of bed as bona fide roommates, and we still had squatters too. So when I wanted to marry, I looked for an apartment of face me and face you, because of that lifestyle that I am used to. I've never lived a secluded life or a life of isolation. And my wife is the opposite side. She was brought up by an aunt who lived in a flat house. When she continued attending academics, so she moved to stay with the grandfather at Niza, a block to Papa alone and herself. So when we married, so I got an apartment of 4 rooms on a wing. So the other wing of 4 rooms belonged to other tenants. My wife saw it and said, no, I can't live here. I'm not used to this lifestyle. And I told her, I've never lived a kind of isolated life in my life. So I don't live here, I've not knocked people's doors, interact and shout, and even chest them on our way passing. So for that, for a year, she agreed because she wanted to keep her home. But stylishly, she was, praying and begging me that we should move to an apartment, a flat apartment somewhere. So that 1 year, she was able to manage the inconvenience I put her through of the lifestyle she was not used to. After a year, I surrendered. We went to a flat house. So getting there, she was enjoying herself, and I was finding it difficult to cope because I'm not used to a lonely life. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting our time, let's come back to. So we were able to manage the inconveniences, and that is why we are still together today, and God has taken us this far. Homes are broken and are still breaking as a result of what? Inconveniences due to such causes as difficulties in the show of understanding, tolerance, impotence, lack of trust, inability to display attitudinal change, cultural imbalance, among others. For instance, a man getting married to more than one wife will find it inconvenient to cope with the lifestyles of different backgrounds of the women he is keeping in the house. But to keep the house, he has to balance up and manage the situation. And by doing so, he will pass through a lot of what? Inconveniences, trying to cope with the man and to sustain the marriage, and so that the marriage will not break. It brings me to a story of fathers who had 2 sons. And the fathers are one a rich father and the other one a poor dad. The poor father has a son. The rich father also equally has a son. The first father told the son that, child, when you are done with school, go and look for a job. The other father said that, son, when you are done with your school, go and look for opportunities. The first son got a job, while the first son looked for a job, while the second son looked for opportunities. The one that got a job found it more inconvenient to cope with the contemporary work environment that is contingent on what? Technological development, while the second son that explored the world easily based on encounter with opportunities was able to cope with what? Favorably with technologies and every situation that comes across him. So family life is not left out in the discussion of inconveniences, as children's mentality about technology opposes parental misconception about technology. So in the work settings where employees are given roles to play in the discharge of their duties, there are bound to occur manage of what? Inconveniences, because there will be role conflicts between the employer's personality and the work given to the employee. Why? Most of our traditional systems are actually replaced by the modern trends of what? Technology, which is governing the world today. The world is moving speedily into the realm of technology and doing away with what? Traditional way of doing things. Teachers and administrators are still making use of the traditional methods, and it is on this note that I welcome you all to this thought-provoking, illuminating, and distinguished lecture. Education is described as what? Acquisition of skills and knowledge that makes the individual to be seen as functional and effective within the society. Education administration and school administration are two contrasting issues that people have failed to differentiate because of the felt similarity in academic and managerial practices. School administration is concerned with the administrative practices that take place in the school. Like the Vice Chancellor of the National University of Nigeria is to manage the affairs of the National Professors of Nigeria in all areas alone. But when it comes to education administration, it is considered to be more extensive, more expanded than the school administration, because it encompasses the holistic activities within the general system, ranging from monitoring the operation of schools through supervision, inspection, teaching, interpretation of the syllabus, the school curriculum, and all of that. It also requires the engagement of supervisors, managers, instructors, deans, departmental heads and agencies, which are established to address school functions. So while school administration is talking about what goes on in a particular school setting, then education administration talks about the totality of the educational administration, the activities of the administrative education at primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. This implies that the idea of education administration in Nigeria, as we can evaluate it as not fruitful enough on the discussions among the numerous stakeholders. This lecture will focus on the brief history of educational administration in Nigeria, the involvement of technology, and the correspondent outcomes on the educational system. So, to examine this, we will run quickly through the history of educational administration in Nigeria. And Ogundiran 2017 and 2021, in his book titled Evolutionary Trends of Management and Organization of Schools in Nigeria, and Fafawa 1974, talking about history of education in Nigeria, spelled out 3 eras of educational involvement of educational administration in Nigeria. We have the era of missionaries, we have the era of colonial administration, and thirdly we have the era of institutions involvement in educational administration. So the missionary era was characterized by missionaries' approach to education in Nigeria, which is basically based on trying to arrest or catching the attention or the minds and souls of the people to Christ. That for the purpose of evangelism. And the main curriculum was based on just teaching, arithmetic, and reading. Then the colonial era came up after the missionary era, and that was when we had all ordinances, edicts, laws, educational laws, ordinances, and edicts that try to champion the administration of education in Nigeria. Then a bit of harmonized structure was brought in as against what happened during the missionary era, which was only just to evangelize and teach morals and have candidates for the heaven. Under this second era, the first grant in education, which tried to show the government's love of education, was given to schools in 1872, and which was just £30 to mission schools to assist them. And that was the first time education witnessed having grants to support the practice of education in the schools in Nigeria. So we now come to the third era, which is the institutions involvement in educational administration. At this time, the fate of educational administration within the 21st century is being controlled by the institutions and what we make institutions, such as West African Examination Council, so just like the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, the National Examination Council, and so on and so forth. So these institutions were established so as to help in administering education at the various levels of education in Nigeria. We have challenges that faced educational administration at that particular time. The missionary era had the limitation of focusing on evangelism rather than the real essence of education, like I said initially. The missionary had the limitation of what? Focusing on evangelism rather than the real essence of education for development on the part of colonial government. So when the time for when the era of the colonial educational system came, a shift in response to educational administration was established, and that was when we had that ordinances, ethics, laws of education being promulgated to structure education practices in the country. Ogundiran 2020 added some of the problems of educational administration to include poor leadership, characterized by improper communication and collaborations. And these are summarized in this model. We have one, lack of managerial competence. Two, weak community relations. That is supposed to be favoritism. So where that weak community relations is repeated. Three should be favoritism, while the fourth one is ethics. So all the challenges that face education at the various levels and at the during the various era, especially during the era of colonial and institutional administration of education in Nigeria, the problem we witnessed have been summarized under this category. For the sake of our time, so we have the manual, we can read further on them where we'll get to. So that takes me to another title, Education Administration and Technology. So its impact on education. The evolution of the society from mechanical state to organic state is considered to be an inevitable occurrence, and this occurrence is being facilitated by the philosophy of information communication technology, and that is cited by Ogundiran 2016 and also in 2018. So we have the impact of educational administration, which is also felt through the use of quality technological devices. This particular area, educational administration is trying to interact with technology, using technology to discharge educational activities, educational functions or duties of the administrators in the school settings. We also have another impact based on technological usage of ICT, which is supposed to enhance effective administration and knowledge sharing, a sharing culture as evidence of quality educational administration. But I will see what is happening today. Some educational administrators, they find it difficult to cope with the use of this technology to drive in their potential, to drive in their educational leadership functions, as they still stick to the traditional way of teaching and learning, or traditional way of school administration. One, the training is not there enough. Two, the materials are not easily available, and also when they are available, they have not been exposed fully into the nitty-gritty of the use of these technologies to discharge their duties effectively using the technology devices. We also have another impact based on inclusion of technology into educational administration, which creates opportunities for this administration to discover better ways of executing educational functions, which require the benefit of the entire educational system. Just like I explained, if this thing is mastered by the current educational administrator, the assistant administrator, using educational technology to drive their duties, much more will be achieved, much more will be covered within the span of time, rather than using traditional way of doing things as usual. Ogundiran 2012, in another book titled Application of Management Techniques in Education Administration Toward Educational Effectiveness, stated that the application of management methods in the field of educational administration will be effectively accomplished when technology is fully implemented. When technology is fully used, technology devices fully used by educational administrators, we have much more to be achieved, and the service delivery will be so fast than using the traditional way of doing things as usual. Let's just go to educational administration and technology further. We are furthering on educational administration and technology impact on education. We have over 2016, which posted that students will perform excellently well in their courses when educational institutions empower teachers towards the use of technology at an apex level. Kudos to my Vice Chancellor, our very father in this university. This is an example of the support given to the academics to function effectively in this area I'm talking about. So if the technical devices are available, and kudos to him too, as he provides timely training and retraining of staff in the use of all these devices to drive in our duties, our service delivery effectively. So, like when I got to National Tournament of Nigeria in 2009, I couldn't even press a key on a laptop and I will produce a letter on the screen. But to God be the glory today, at least I can do much more on the system to do whatever I want to do and to submit my required assignments timely to the university based on the support of the management headed by my able and ineffective Vice Chancellor, Professor Olufemi Peters. Thank you very much, sir. So, Ogundiran 2012 and truly 2014 also stated that the use of technology for the purpose of administrative process aids dynamic operations required for the educational system to be stabilized in all ramifications. When you engage the use of technology to do your work, you are balanced and stable to produce results. Unlike when you use traditional method, using your head and hands to do it. And you know, the way you did it yesterday, you may not remember to use the same method today. I mean, the way you did it yesterday and gave you results, you may try to use it again today, and maybe you have wanted some areas of in the steps you took that gave you that effective result yesterday in carrying out the same assignment today, and you end towards failure because it is possible you have gotten some steps of doing the same thing all over. But if it is the use of technology devices, where you stopped, you will meet it there when you want to continue. And the result goes on and it's unlimited. And you start effectively and favorably result-oriented achievement to the system. So, technology from studies have shown its relevance with regards to the appropriate various administrative functions, which the traditional process of educational administration could not handle totally. That will be explained from what I've been saying. So let's go on to concept of educational administration briefly. What do you mean educational administration? Like I said, educational administration is seen by Ogundiran 2007 in his book titled Educational Resources and Classroom Management as the utilization of institutional resources to achieve institutional objectives. When the resources are there and you approach and use them judiciously, effectively, without trained ability you have gained from the various training, the various workshop seminars, and whatever you have been exposed to. So, when you interact or you engage the use of resources that are available in the institutional setting, then you will achieve timely and favorably institutional objectives easily. So the major role of educational administration is to coordinate resources. When resources are put we have man, that is human resources, material resources, financial, physical, and all that. So those things must be harnessed, used, interact together to produce and what? Institutional objectives, to achieve institutional goals of education. But when the resources are not there, the reverse is the case. We are now coming down to the real topic, the strong area of this topic, the marriage of inconvenience. The marriage of inconvenience. This concept is reflected in the lack of clarity in organizing and executing technological approaches with respect to internal administration. We have different aspects of administration which will require technology to fill the space for its effectiveness. The reverse might be the case with the inconvenience of disparity in administrative functions. The problem of technical expertise among administrators becomes an obvious possibility. Like I said initially, when administrators are not exposed to the full use, the full engagement of technology to carry out their functions, there will be problems of inconvenience, because using it wrongly will produce wrong results. And if it's not there at all, that's another problem. So no results will be achieved at all. So if they are there, if the resources are there, the technological resources or devices are there, and the administrators are not trained, they are not skilled in the use of that resources or devices that are available in the education system, they will just be there and nothing will happen. And we'll see today that most of our administrators, they find it difficult to operate simple educational technological devices, and that's why they are finding it difficult to shift away from the traditional way of doing things to this advanced method of using technology to do things. And that's why we are having the poor results we are having in education today. So the mismatch between educational administration and technology, that's another problem, which means that poor understanding of technology as a tool of administration in our present day reality weakens the possibility of integrating technology with educational administration. It's a continuation of the explanation I just covered. If you have poor knowledge of the use of the technology devices, so it becomes a problem for you to operate or use it to do anything. So poor investment patterns in the light of the use of technology will also be considered as inconvenience to the locus of educational administration. I want to again thank my Vice Chancellor, Professor Peters, going forward from the foundation laid by the previous Vice Chancellors, providing the enabling environment for all of us to do our work effectively using technology at all times. And like I said, this has not been given to all of us. It started with the gift of the normal laptop and later changed to this screen touch. So, and when you have all this, if at all you are the most talent in the world, having something to interact, having this thing to at least play with, there's no way you will not be forced to learn one thing or the other at a time. And from there, you continue. And you become a master of the use of this technology device to drag in your results. So, divergence of the orientations among educational administrators is another issue. More serious inconveniences arise when educational administrators are unable to resolve issues using computerized software. due to problems of internet connectivity, absence of electricity, and most importantly, loss of technological ingenuity needed to produce results within the educational system that in line with the submission of Rule 2012 and 2016. You may have all these gadgets, you may have all these devices. When you don't have the internet facility to use it, you don't have the electricity to use it, it becomes what? Useless. And there's no result that systems or the technical devices you have will give you, because they are not put into use because of the problem of internet and problem of electricity. I remember just a few months ago when we had the project defense exercise in the university. I served as the internal examiner to my department in the Department of Education. Then the external examiner, based in his institution in the East, could not even reach out to me. And the students where they were for a whole day. He was battling with the problem of internet over there, and I have connected to the students there from my end here across the centers where we have the students. The students have connected, but the external examiner that will take the students through the project event was unable to connect to the internet because of internet connectivity problem over there, and that whole day was wasted. That whole day was wasted and shifted to the following day. Another experience was when we had our PhD seminar presentation in the faculty recently. A student was trying to log in to present his seminar work from his location in the final. Throughout the first day of the seminar presentation, the student could not reach out to us, he couldn't connect us. As he was trying to connect, the internet would go up and he would not get it. So you can see what the problem of internet connectivity and electricity can cause when you even have these technological devices to use. These are kind of another inconveniences that we can experience even when the devices are there and the power, the use, effective use of those things like this internet and electricity that I said are not available. So it becomes a problem and it's a kind of inconvenience. So another problem of using these technical devices like the laptop for instance is that people run away from its use because of the health problem it poses to people. Like before I got to National University of Nigeria and before I started using this laptop every time I do my assignment, I can read from afar off anything, even a small letter from afar off without using glasses. But lo and behold, one day I got to the office, I opened the laptop to work. No, I wanted to pray, I opened my Bible, I could not see anything, I could not read anything. So my sight has gone. So I ran to my day to people around who said the rest of the system every time has caused that sight problem for you, and that's when I started using glasses in my life. So people may be trying to run away from this kind of health challenges, using these technological devices to do their assignment because they don't want to have the problem of what? Not being able to see well without using glasses. That is another inconvenience that these technical devices can cause in its use. Adetoro and Ogundiran 2007 opined that the reason behind the innovative ability to manage technical and functional education is seen in the lack of cohesion between educational administration and technology, which is needed to formalize the acquisition of skills essential to promoting career advancement. I think I've talked about that one. So, Johnson, Dopina, and Russell actually to talk 2016 categorize these inconveniences we are talking about, that we even talk about, to be do your work. So there's nothing you can do. That availability of the technological devices to drive in your to discharge your duties. Then if they are there and the training is not there, for you to learn how to use them effectively to produce good results, it becomes another inconvenience. And the last one is support. The support is in terms of making provision for all these things to for use by the administrators. Like I said, that this laptop being produced or being given to us by the university management to do our work, so is a kind of support. We have other support like provision of adequate internet facilities, and when the light is not there, the never light the normal electricity is not there. The generator is there 24/7 to give us light, to make sure that internet facilities are powered and they are functioning effectively. So we have the theoretical framework, and the theoretical framework of this study of this lecture is based on the fact that education are the key to educational innovations and development. As an educational administrator or school administrator, we are keys to what? Educational innovations. We are the one to give development, timely development and innovations in education through the use of this technology in the acquisition of education in Nigeria. This model also occurs in two stages. The first stage describes the feelings and concern towards innovation, and the second stage describes how individual behaviors conform to the experiences associated with the changes. So let's see the conceptual framework. This is also summarized in this model, conceptual model. We have educational administration, all the things there, interacting with technology, and the benefit is up there. When you use technology effectively and rightly, you have the benefit up, and if it's otherwise used, they produce what you have in the box below, which is marriage of inconvenience. So, conclusively, the lecture has explained the benefit of technology in educational administration, and it has also illustrated the incompetence that arise on the basis of adopting the innovations of technology in the world of educational administration. So, and I want to recommend that the concept of infrastructure, training and financial motivation must be considered to facilitate the engagement of educational administrators with technology. And also, adequate policies from the government should substantiate the use of technology within the administrative ambit of the educational system, and this will help to strengthen the system. Permit me, on this note, to appreciate my Vice Chancellor, Professor Peters, the academic father, the national academic leader of this university, for providing this atmosphere, for providing this opportunity for me to render this 28th inaugural lecture in the series of our university. I want to say thank you, sir, for all the support you have been given to us to do our works efficiently and effectively, to deliver timely. And the welfare packages and all those developments are also there to motivate us to do our work diligently. The BBC attached, I want to also appreciate you for at least the good work you are doing in this regard, at least pushing all of us forward to showcase our experience as professors in our various disciplines. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate my dean, Professor Oludare Ogulele, for always being there to support us all in the faculty as well. And is as the father of the faculty, is also always there to dance to the needs of the university staff, the faculty staff at every time. I also want to appreciate my other deputy vice chancellors, administration and innovations for the support given to the vice chancellor and to all of us as academians in the university to discharge our duties effectively. I want to thank the bursar who has always been there to make it available, to do this thing, to make this thing to happen. If you know what goes on into the organization of inaugural lectures, you know that it's not easy to have 2 inaugural lectures in a month. One lecture was delivered on 5th of September, and we are having another inaugural lecture being delivered today. So, and in various universities, all the expenses of the inaugural lectures are being borne by the inaugural lecturers. But here, the university management takes care of everything. The production of the inaugural lecture books, the invitation, the entertainment I'm giving to you today, it is free of charge, courtesy of the university management under the leadership of our amiable and indefatigable Vice Chancellor Professor Ogundiran Peters. Thank you very much, sir. I also want to appreciate the support of my colleagues, senior and junior, and my mates for always being there to assist when the need arises. So I also want to thank my people from Oyo State. Can you please stand up for recognition? People from Oyo State. Sir, it is not easy. They initially booked for a 60-seater bus from the government, but the stipend to be contributed to transport them here to at least to full bill of the funding of the district caused issues. Some could not come again, and that's why you see many of them that took it upon themselves that no how we must be there, and they came on their own. Courtesy, my good friend, thank you very much. My senator and the honorable represented by the people they sent down here, I equally appreciate you. I want to appreciate the governors of Oyo State in the past and the recent governor for finding me worthy of appointment into the seat of the government council chairman of a polytechnic in Oyo State under the leadership of the late Governor Isiaq Abiola Ajimobi. And to the glory of God, I was returned by the opposition party, Governor Seyi Makinde, when he came in during his first term. I was returned to the seat of that government council of the same institution. So I want to appreciate them for giving that environment to operate and to deliver in that respect. I equally want to thank my family, my body of Christ, the Living Faith Church members. Are you please rise up? The evangelistic team of Living Faith Church. Thanks very much for the prayers and the support in all areas. It has become a success story today. God bless you all. We shall all make efforts in Jesus' name. I want to appreciate all my friends that have contributed to the success of this lecture today. And I cannot take it for granted. Even my senior colleagues, I was surprised they were calling, give me your this, I will just say a lot. Thank you very much. I don't want to be mentioning it. God bless you and God bless you. And finally, I want to appreciate God in the life of my realtor, as the University auditor said the other time. My realtor, my only and only one in my life after God. People that are very close to me will know that sometimes I'm very hard to deal with, and I'm very hard to even at least agitate it. But this marriage will have broken if not for the inconvenience in me by this woman. And that is why the marriage is still standing today and its occasion is not. And we have the Lord speaking outside the country today. You will eat the labor, the good labor of the work in Jesus' name and in good health. This is Mrs. Victoria Oluwafemilola Ogundiran. My mother, after, even when the late mother was my mother and the mother of the house. God bless you immeasurably in Jesus' name. It is endless. And finally, I won't drop a smile without appreciating God in the life of my daddy, my academic father, my mentor, my role model here. The day he came for Professor Ogundiran's inaugural lecture, I told him, I said, sir, I want you to witness my inaugural lecture. And he said, remind me and give me your date and reminding me. And live and direct, I was sending the reminder to him, to his WhatsApp. He never talked, never reacted. But I am so surprised seeing him today fulfilling his word. Professor President Adotelebe, I'm very grateful, sir. God bless you, sir. I'm highly honored. I also want to thank my great father. I have a father and I have, okay, Professor Ogundiran is my father. And the great father is Professor President Adotelebe. While my grandfather is Professor Emeritus Sogoro. I'm highly honored having you on the seat to listen to this inaugural lecture today. God bless you, sir. And thanks for the mentorship. You will live long to pilot us even beyond your level before you leave us in Jesus' name. On this note, I want to close this lecture by appreciating God in the life of my kids, home and abroad. Can you please, those that are around in Nigeria, can you rise up? My children. So, the marriage is producing result because of marrying inconveniences in the marriage. We have one, she's a graduate and a master's degree holder about to start her PhD. She got her first degree in OAU in English, then master's in UI recently on early childhood education. So my daddy will soon bring you in. I'm promising you that. So thank you. I also want to thank my daughter and the one and only one in her life in the UK for God's faithfulness upon their lives over there and for being there always and being supportive always. God will also always be with them and give them that joy to enjoy the goodies of their own marriages too in Jesus' name. The transport manager, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Anytime I call for thank you, since I came in here, it's always difficult for me to move about. But once I said, last night I called him, I said, how will I get to the university today with my wife? Will I take my wife to go and enter Okada to the university from Lugbe? He said, Prof, you must have called me, told me. I said, I didn't want to call you and tell you. I wanted to come, but there was no chance. So he said, okay, call Harrison, tell Harrison to give you by 7:30 this morning. The car was parked in my hotel and it conveyed me. God bless you and God will continue to honor you in this way. Thank you, everybody, and God bless you. And I'll bring this lecture to a close.
I think he deserves more than that. I will give him a standing ovation and a round of applause. Prof, today is your day. Even when you were saying finally, you all right, we would want an official presentation of the 28th inaugural lecture to the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria by the inaugural lecturer himself. May I now invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor Olufemi Peters, for his closing remarks.
Professor Ogundiran, thank you very much for trying to make us understand what inconvenience is. And having listened to him carefully, we will have appreciated the reason at the beginning of his title, and therefore his lecture. But I want to ask a question. Is there really an inconvenience of educational management and technology? Is there really? The good news that I want to spread about this discussion today, it is a fait accompli. There can be an inconvenience, because the marriage of inconvenience is only a matter of time, as the event, the current global realities tells us. And he adequately justified that by, if you turn to page 2038 of his report, that the inconvenience would be as a result of the fact that if the educational administrators are aware of the technology, if they are adequately trained, and if the administrators develop adequate enthusiasm. So I want to thank him, because he has demonstrated that in many instances, putting us into the dilemma of an inconvenient marriage. But as he has used his own spousal experiences, early engagement with his wife, to introduce us to the topic, the fact that they are still together shows that inconvenience will give way to convenience. Thank you very much for listening. And on that note, I want to thank everybody that is here and invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic to close the ceremony. Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, I want to thank you for your usual support. We thank the inaugural lecturer. As soon as you ended the lecture, we became convenient. And the family of the Faculty of Education, the Vice Chancellor just made a remark that you spend most of your time out of the campus. So I'm sure he'll be taking steps to recall you back to campus. We thank the family for the pains you have taken to come to Abuja. We know it's not easy. And the prayer warriors, we want to thank you for all you have done. On behalf of management, staff and students, we thank all of you, Senate members, for the honor you have always given to us on occasions like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, DVC, Professor Chedu Mafiana. With that vote of thanks, we've come to the end of the 28th inaugural lecture in the series here at National Open University of Nigeria, and most likely the last for this year. We hope to see you next year. Okay, all right, not the last. We hope to see you next time when we send our IV for the 29th inaugural lecture. On behalf of the chairman, Professor Olufemi Peters, and the management team of the National Open University of Nigeria, this is thanking you for being witness to this. And on this note, may I ask that we rise for the inaugural anthem to be followed by the national anthem.